Good evening, stamping friends, and welcome to Linda's Stamping Escape. How is everybody this evening? It is Tuesday, the 29th of July. Just a few more days we have for this month, and then we're heading into August. So, how is everybody this evening? I hope you're staying cool. It's still pretty warm out there. So I thought, what better way to chill than to do Christmas in July? So when you pop on in, say hello. I see we got a few viewers already. There is Miss Barb and Nicole. Hello, ladies. And Sandy, hi there. You back from up north? So last week, I introduced you to the Jolly Holly bundle, and we're going to make a couple more cards with that today. So we're going to revisit some of the items that we used last week, and then just a little twist on some easy cards. So nothing has to be hard. Remember, our theme last week was it doesn't have to be complicated to be pretty. So, hey, Candy, thanks for joining us. So, the Holly Jolly bundle includes the stamp set, the dies, and then the hybrid embossing folder, which we will be using. I was going to show my cards, even though I put them on the Facebook page, I was going to bring them back out, but I think I took them down. I was cleaning up my stamp area up here. Can you believe it? So, Tony and Deborah and Jane have joined us. Welcome, welcome. And Jane says, yay, I bought this. Yes, you did. And I'm working on everybody's gifts, getting them all packed up. But I'm not going to send anything out until August 1st, which is Friday, because I'm going live on Friday morning so we can do a spin to win. And we're going to see who wins this sales incentive. This is a strawberry slush craft toast, and it's still in the package. So you guys are going to get this and pop it open. And how you get in on that drawing is for every $50 you spent for the month of July, your name will go in. So I am got a whole lot of names going in, and some people's got their names in there a couple times, and I just called you guys peoples. Okay, let's get started. I don't know if I should start with the one I have to work harder on or the quick and easy. We'll finish with quick and easy. Okay, Nicole says, I love that color. This is Old Olive and Real Red, and I'm sticking Christmas here. And then these two pieces are from the dies that come in with our Jolly Holly. And this was just a scrap piece, so I think I'm going to be adding that. I'm not real sure yet. So I'm kind of crafting these up a little bit as I go. And I pre-cut 3 little circles, and these come from the goodness, I'll think of it. It's that cute little set that has the all the circles and the, oh my gosh, why can't the tulips? It'll come to me maybe at about midnight tonight, but it'll come. So Lisa and Vicky have also joined us. Welcome, ladies. Oh, Vicky's in Iowa. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so let's get started here. So A2 base, so 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4.25. So that's our base. And then the inside, you can just put a 4 by 5.25 inch piece in there, usually white, and that is the same size as my outside. And I embossed this with the waves because I wanted it to kind of look a little bit like a snowstorm or like Christmas, however you want to look at that. And I don't want to attach this one yet. So what I want to do is use the stamps because we really didn't use those much last week other than greetings. So today I picked out the bells. So we're going to use those. Whoops. And I'm just going to make this super simple. I'm going to do the bow last, and I'm going to do the bells in one color with just a little highlighting. So I'm going to use that pointy edge so I can get in here and just pull my color down here. See how easy that is to get around the bow this way? Okay, now I'm going to add a little more color, little layer there, right where the bow is, because that would cast a shadow, right? So that's going to be a little bit darker. Here we're just putting one stroke of gray in there. Come back in here, get a little bit darker. This is going to create your shadows. And then on the bottom, we're just going to color this in. And then where you would have shadows, we're just going to add another layer of color. So one strip. And remember, this is all one. This is the light smoky slate I'm using. I'm going to come back in here again where it would be a little darker. And then I'm just going to layer one more layer of color on top. And now that it's getting a little wetter, then I can add a little more in those areas that would be a little darker. See how we're getting a little lighter spots now? Come back in here, get the darker spots in there again. Kind of easy to layer that all up nice. Now I want this part right there to be a little lighter. So I'm going to bring in my color lifter, and I'm just going to gently brush over the top of that. And see how that lightens everything up for us? Nice. Easy breezy. And you know where I'm going with this. Who's got silver bells ringing in their heads right now? The song. Sing a little Christmas with us. Okay. I'm just going to put little black pendulums or whatever they call those. Vicky, you might know what those are called. Okay. Now, even though I got real red as my color, I wanted a bold bow. So I'm working with the cherry cobbler. And I see I mixed up my two covers here. So I'll fix that when I put them back on. All right. I'm going to start with the light. And is that the light or is that the dark? Oh, that looks dark. That is the dark. Okay. Hopefully I can correct this. Let's put the dark down here and then right at the tip of our bow. Okay. I'm going to come in and I'm going to circle color. And by that, I mean, I'm just circling with the pen tip because what that does is it helps blend it. I'm going to bring my ties down this way, my little ends, and I'm going to leave that. Now I'm going to go back in with that dark, and I'm going to hit right there on either side of that little center, and then right up the top. And I'm going to leave that little piece in the center lighter. If you want clangers, Vicky says, I think you're right. If you want, you can come back in here and lighten this up a little with your pen here and then just kind of brush it off. Color really doesn't stay on there. And let me go back in with the light. And I'm just going to gently brush over that a little bit. Let's see how that color pops out. Isn't that pretty? Go back in. The wetter it gets, the easier it is to blend. So even using this will help blend that color. I love working these. And I can't forget my little center here. So let's just put a little dot of the light in there. So that is my coloring tip for today. And don't drop your pens. There we go. Make sure we put the right color tips back on. There we go. Dark and light. And then we are going to run that through the Big Shot after we color all 3 of those. And then we are going to bring in, you got it, our Wink of Stella. Where's our Stella? And I am going to add Stella to the bell. So she's all sparkly and pretty. If you want, you can highlight your bow a little bit, but that's up to you. But I do like the sparkle on our bells. So that's how we got that. Nice and easy color lesson, right? So we cut these out. I did 3 of them. Thus we have our little 3 here. And I'm not sure if I want them popped up or not. Because I could pop up the entire circle, but now we can start putting our card together. And then we're going to worry about our let's do this right smack dab in the middle. I think I'm going to do with more of the solid because I don't want this to look like a watermelon. That makes sense. That same pretty paper that we used last week. I got something sticky there. Get this down. Go right up to the edge. Not going to set that down yet. My mind is still thinking here as I go. Let's do this. Let's get this stamped. Let's bring our real red out that matches our cardstock. Girls are quiet again today. We are using the greeting Bright and Happy Christmas Wishes. I want to make sure that I get this nicely inked up here. And then I am going to bring this right to the edge. Hold that on. Get that color nice and saturated. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to layer this on here. Make that nice pop of red. Turn straight. There are little perforations in there. I should be able to get it really straight easily. There we go. Let's do this. Make sure we're down tight. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm not going to cut it all the way because I want to trim it later, but I want to get the majority of this off so that I can kind of get a good lineup here. Let's go up just a little. Nice straight edge. And then I am going to slide this up, under and up here. I feel like I'm making this really hard. Great. I have to take a look at it this way to make sure I'm going straight here. Okay, and I got that straight, and now I need to get this straight. Now I'm going to seal the whole thing down. There we go. And we will trim off the excess. I'm going to add a little extra adhesive to the back here. Make sure it's nice and sticky. There we go. And now I think being this on the back, I think that's going to make everything pop really nice. So what do you think? Should we, Vicky says, use the grid on the mat to be sure it's straight. I would have, but I already had my adhesive on my green piece. But that is an excellent tip. Yep, I used my grid last week too, and it lined up perfectly. And I jumped the gun this week. So, what do you think? Should we pop up the circles or should we pop up the little bells? What do you think? That will finish off this card and then we can move to the next one. Actually, I think while you guys are voting on whether to pop up the bells or pop up the circles, I'm going to pull out the low profile sparkle dots, and we're going to add these. I see bells, one vote for bells. I'm going to put these on here too. Pop up the bells, pop up the bells. Okay, you guys win. I am popping up the bells. So let's get these off. Let's put adhesive to the back of these. And we are going to start in the center, and I'm going to take Vicky's advice here. I'm going to line this up this way. 1, 2, 2. So this way is half. There we go. The other two I'm not so worried about. That did not go the way planned. I'm just going to roll it. Look at that. Roll this one a little more. Should have started on the outsides. It's Tuesday. What can I say? Terrific Tuesdays. There we go. Now I can put this down so it quits moving around on me, and then we'll pop up our bells. They are so cute. So raise your hand if you have the song Silver Bells playing in your head. You know how that goes. And we are going to pop them up. And then we'll add some cute little embellishments. I'm going to tip this one just a hair that way. This one, oh my gosh, you guys should see the sparkle from the Stella. It's so pretty. And then we'll place the center one. Now it'll look like they're actually ringing, right? A little bit back and forth there. Okay, let's get these embellishments in here. These little things. I'm going to start one down here. Give that a squeeze. Pull that up. We're going to do one here. And then let's do one right up there. Just a little bit to draw your eye around and to break up a little bit of that white and make it fun. So there's our picture or our card. Go. How do you like those embellishments? Those are pretty. Just open this low profile. Like, why can't I say that tonight? Low profile sparkle dots. That is what they are called. And I got little doodads all over. So there is card number 1. Cute. I like triple rows every nice. Jane likes it. Good. Save that one. And Jane just bought this last week. So let's move on to another card. Quick and easy. So now you guys remember, correct? I hope that the embossing folder is a hybrid. So it not only embosses, but it also cuts. So I took one out, and last week we just cut out the big pieces. So I did that, and I used this pretty paper again. And this time I cut out some whole, and then I also cut some just the leaves. So I thought that would be cute. And then you can use this either side, which you prefer. Although I did cut them so that the in piece is without the gold, if that makes sense. And Jane said she's making that one with the bells. Yay! It's so cute. So here we are with this guy. And I used these little banner dies, and I'm going to have to post where I snuck these from. I had a list, but I don't know where my little list went. So I apologize for that, because I had a list because I knew I would forget the name, and then the list disappeared. So who knows, right? Okay, let's go in here. This is some of the stuff that I shared last week. Here is the big die that fits inside our folder. And I'll remind you one more time how that works. Pull out our little folder, and you get the nice imagery just by that. Or you can put your die right in here, wiggle it around till it fits. Here's a tip for you. I put a little dot here and a little dot here, so I knew where it would line up. And when you do that, make sure it's locked in. Put your cardstock over the top, close this, and then you can feed it right through. So Tony says, I think I need that bundle. And Jane is cheering, yeah, I got this one. So yeah, this is a fun one. So this locks in, and then you just close this and run it through your machine, and it will cut. It does not cut these out. I think I had one last week, but I think I chopped it all up because I've been trying to play with it. So it cuts like this. It just cuts like the little pieces, but not fully out. So I cut these all out by hand. So they lift up, which is really cool. So you can have it just with that lift, or you can do what I did and cut these out. So then we're going to decorate our card just like that. So using the very vanilla on this one, and 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4.25, right? Jane said, where are those dots? Which dots, Jane? Let me know in the comments and I can give you an answer. And then this is 4 by 5.25. And then I just simply embossed this. I did not use that die. Oh, ladies, I knew I saved one. Here's one. So you can just see how that lifts. So it does not cut all the way out. It just cuts the ends up. So you can have, I will share another one at either that, or raise your hand if you want to do a class with this. So, because this would be really fun. And I know I got lots more ideas for this. Okay, let's grab our stamp set back here and get our, oh, I already did get it. I'm ahead of myself. I need my stamp and I need my real red back. And this says, may the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. And I believe we used this one last week. We're going to put that right there and stamp that in there, hold it down. Okay, so while I'm holding on this, and I don't really need to hold it this long, Jane said to make it easier to fit in the folder. I actually used my Stampin' Blends because they work like a Sharpie, or you can use a Sharpie, and I just put those dots. Get that out again so I can show you. I put one dot on the die. Let me hold that up a little closer. One dot on the die and one dot on the folder. So that way I'm not flipping this all around trying to fit it. I know that this is going to go in that corner, and then I just line up those leaves down here and then lock it in. That makes it really easy for you to get it in here without searching. Because how many times have we used dies and you're like this, where it doesn't fit? This way, you got a little tip that I'm going to put these two dots together and then I can slide this in real quick. So those dots. Okay. All right. So we got our little greeting done. I'm going to put this red away or I'll have red all over me. Our team wasn't called Inky Fingers for anything. My team is called the Stars, but as you go up, I was on a team called Inky Fingers. All right, so we are going to put this up here. Just kind of line that up a little bit. Okay. And then I'm not sure how I want to do this yet. I think I'm going to just add a few glue dots. I was thinking about putting it all the way up, but I actually like the fact that I'm going to use all my little pieces here. So I could do like a big one right there. So this is what it looks like when you cut out the whole piece. So let's just do this. We said we were going to make this one easy, right? So let's just put this on here. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Make sure it's straight. Okay. And then I'm going to put a dot here. And bring that right there. I can go over a little bit because, and if you're worried, you can put more underneath. We can do that. Let's do it this way. Just fish that guy under there. There you go. Now they'll all stick up better. Okay. And one here. There we go. And I am going to push those back down because I'm going to try to find something to put in there. And now I'm going to come and put just a little one. Oh, I like this guy better. I'm going to tuck this little guy down here. But we're going to use a glue dot for him. Just get a little glue dot on there. Maybe two. Okay. And then we're just going to stick him under our banner. And that'll really kind of draw your eye down that way, this way. And we'll put the whole front on. But I wanted to see, I have little berries on here. Which ones would look better? Now, these are the opal rounds. And these are kind of tall. And then I have these are the flat iridescent pearls. Let me pull them out. And I'm going to give them a test to see which one I like better. I'm going to grab that cherry cobbler again. And we're going to color one of these. Ooh, I'm liking that already. And that's a little bit more low profile than this guy. We're going to do one of these too. I think they're both pretty. I'm going to lift those up there to see if you guys can see them a little better. And which one are you voting for? This one or this one? So this is the pearl and this is the opal rounds. So which one do you like better colored? Oh, on your view, they almost look alike. This one has a little bit more see-through and you can see the glitter in it a little more. This one's just a little shimmery. So if you just like the shimmer or if you like the glitter. So while you guys decide that, I am just going to adhere the back and front of my card together. I see a pearl. And just so you guys know, I love doing color on color. You could even jazz this up even more and put a ribbon on it that runs through here, but I did not this time. I see pearl, pearl, pearl. Okay, pearl's got it. Pearl's the winner, so we'll set those off to the side. And we are going to color two more of these. We'll do two little ones this time and one big one. Give them a minute to dry. Ooh. And then we're going to pop them up. Ooh, I almost lost that one. Those are pretty. And three. When you guys put your orders in with that free shipping, I did the same. And I actually ordered, they have the little triple rhinestones that they brought out last year. They're back. I ordered those just because I had this set. So I just add a little more color just to darken that up. And there it is. If you don't like it on this side, you can put it on this side. I thought this was too big, the banner, to go this way. So that's why I did this one. Because my intention is always to do like one portrait and one, like a portrait and a horizontal, but we got two of these. So that's okay. So here's our two cards. Not hard to make. Again, you don't have to make difficult cards to make pretty cards. So there they are. You got a little bit more stamping on this one with our bells. And then another way in which you can use those, that die cut back. So, and there's even more ways. But now look at all the little leaves I got for more cards. So thank you so much for joining me. I will have another giveaway. I will probably give away some opal rounds tonight. Okay? Jane says she likes both of them. Yay! I will have them posted, or they'll be on YouTube because I go over there too. You can always watch a lot of my lives on YouTube. The only ones I don't put out there are the ones where My internet stopped. You guys remember those? So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the Christmas in July, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Good night.